What the New Testament has to say about Mary fills only a few verses. She is the focus of several passages in the Gospels and is referred to once in the Acts of the Apostles. The Gospels and the book of Acts do depict Mary at every stage in her son's life, at his conception and birth, during his childhood, at the start of his ministry, at the foot of the cross, and following his resurrection and ascension. But in most of these cases, Mary's presence amounts to little more than a mention. The infancy narrative of Matthew says little about Mary apart from the virginal conception. In the Gospel of Luke, however, the evangelist's estimation of Mary is found principally in his infancy narrative. The Lucan Mary is hailed by the terrifying Gabriel, angel of the end of days, as one favored by God. Luke chapter 1, verse 28. And coming to her, he said, Haire kekaritomene, hail favored one, the Lord is with you. Verse 30, then the angel said to her, do not be afraid, Mary, for you have found favor with God. Her response shows her to be an obedient handmaid or slave girl of the Lord. Luke chapter 1, verse 38, Mary said, look, I am the slave girl of the Lord. May it be done to me according to your word. Elizabeth declares that Mary is, quote, mother of my Lord. Luke chapter 1, verse 43. And says that she is blessed of what God has done for her. And because by Mary's loyalty or faith, that there would be a fulfillment of what was spoken to her by the Lord. Luke 1:45. In her own canticle, the Magnificat, Mary acknowledges that the Mighty One has done great things for me. Luke, the author of the Gospel by the same name, depicts Mary as the spokeswoman and representative of the Anawim, the poor of Israel. She is a faithful hearer of the word, obedient to it, and to the God who utters it. On the other hand, Luke mentions Mary only once in the Acts of the Apostles. It is after the ascension of Jesus into sky vault that the disciples return to Jerusalem, go to the upstairs room, and devote themselves to constant prayer, quote, together with certain women, including Mary, the mother of Jesus, as well as his brothers. Although it's not possible to establish the time when Mary's own belief in her son's messianic significance began, or even the cause of it, it is clear that she shared the loyalty in Jesus, the faith in Jesus, of the earliest Jesus groups. She was from the first a member of the post-Easter community. Question. In the stories about Jesus' birth and boyhood, Mary plays a role. But how important is Mary, biblically speaking? One would have to answer that by making a distinction among the Gospels. Mary is mentioned in all four Gospels and at the beginning of the book of Acts. In what most scholars consider to be the earliest Gospel, namely Mark, Mary only makes one appearance during the ministry of Jesus.